it is the era of farming. Everybody knows about that. But the confusion is, which area of the farming should I go into? Fortunately for you, this is a country of several millions of people. Nigeria is going to 200 million. I don't know how much we are going to be by the time you are going to be watching this, but we are a country of great numbers. And because we have so many people here, it means people eat every day. You know, you think about Lagos alone, FCT, you know, Kano and other places like that, people are eating. In fact, people must eat every day. Now, another thing you have to think about that is, up to today, Nigeria is still importing tomato paste. Why are we importing tomato paste? Either because we are not able to plant the sufficient quantity of the tomato we need, or we are not able to preserve it as appropriate. Either of the two. So, agriculture sector, there is an opportunity there, but I really wouldn't want to be among those people who talk as if it is just a cheap way. The truth is, if you are an adult, which of course I'm sure you are, you understand that nothing in life goes so easily. So as you are trying to venture into agribusiness, you shouldn't be carried away by the noise in the media and the noise, you know, from the government and the noise from everybody, as if everybody that just goes into agribusiness now are going to make millions just next month. It isn't going to work out that way, and I'm telling you the truth, which is going to be scary, and that is 90% of people who still go into farming are going to come back having lost their investment or unable to, you know, make good profits. And you ask me why? Now, the answer is very simple. Not because it is agric, it's because it is business. Now, the first problem you will have with people in this part of the world is just that most people really don't know that there is process and principle to all these things. Now, take for instance, as you are thinking of going to tomato farming in Nigeria, it would be good for you to understand it as a business, not just as a farming. Now, it's a mentality shift between thinking of, I'm starting a farm, and thinking of, I'm starting a business. Now, why I have given you copies of unsolicited advice, I would like to move on to the reason why you are here in the first place, and that is you intend to start a tomato farming in Nigeria. And this is just a few of the things I think you should understand. Yeah, tomato originated, that is according to our research, from South America, thereabouts, America continent. And if you think about it, in Nigeria, we have been most part of our states in Nigeria that are producing tomato are Gombe, Sokoto, Kano, and most of them from north. That is not really because you can't plant it in east or in west, but where, you know, in Nigeria, Northerners tend to be the one championing all sorts of things like that. Now, we can do it in the West too. So, just for you to have a kind of like underground understanding of that. Now, the other thing I think you should understand is, in tomato planting, we have nursery period and nursery stage, and we have transplanting. Now, nursery is just that. It's like cocoa, if you are born into cocoa farming, like myself. Now, the way we plant tomato is, you first, you know, plant them in a nursery. In that nursery is just like you want to nurture them at a certain time, which is going to take like 5 weeks. Now, after that 5 weeks, you are going to transplant it into the original site you are taking into. Now, why transplanting? You have to be very careful, because it's like you are taking a delicate substance to another place. You have to be careful of the roots, and you have to be careful of the way you actually transplanted the nursery into the original, site you are taking into. Now, when you take it to the original site, common sense tells us that because you have shifted those roots from one angle to the other, you need irrigation at that time. Now, you wouldn't expect that the day you transplant your nursery, the tomato nursery, from where you are planting them anywhere in Nigeria to another place, there will be rain. You wouldn't expect that. So before you do that, you have to make arrangement for irrigation. It's just like to make the tomato seed, which you have just transplanted, to feel as if they are still in the same location. So you transplant them, and then few weeks from that, you have to be thinking about fertilization and weeding. Of course, you expect that after you transplant them, weeds too must have been growing. So you have to think about weeding, you have to think about fertilization. Now, you may think about different species, as we have in other planting and animals, we have different species. In tomato farming, we have different species. We have grape species, we have cherry species, and we have pear species, and few other species that we have in the tomato farming. So now, choosing the right one is very important. One other question you may ask is, when is the best time for you to plant your tomato? Yeah, it may be good depending on where you are. We have rain season in different parts of Nigeria, even all over the world, are not the same. Like in the west now, we tend to have rain anything from April, May. While in the north, it may be later. While it's somewhere like east, they may have it earlier. But I'm using west now because I'm speaking from west. Something like April, May could be the right time for you. Or of course, if you are intending to use irrigation, which of course you can go into that at any time of the year. As in every other thing, human being gets sick, animals get sick, fruits and vegetables too, they have their headaches. Now, in the case of tomato, you have pests and diseases, and controlling them is very, very important. We have red spider. Red spider is one of the pests we have in tomato, and few other. Now, how do you prevent those pests? This is what I'm going to discuss right now. Preventing pests in tomato could be easier if you do these three things. First is practice crop rotation. What we mean by crop rotation is it is not advisable to plant the same crop in the same place, year after year. So what is usually advisable is when you plant a crop here this year, you plant other one there. You can go and plant the same crop elsewhere. So that kind of like help preventing the pest in tomato business. The second thing you can do is use original chemicals or fertilizers and stuff like that. Why? Because if it is fake, you really don't know the components. You don't know what they mix together, and that can lead to pests and diseases. Now, the third thing to do is wherever you see any part of the farm affected by diseases or pests, it is always good for you to cut them off so that they will not spread into other farm. That is the same or similar practice in human for contagious diseases, and in animal for contagious diseases too. We separate human beings that are having contagious diseases from the rest of us so that that will not affect us. The same practice goes with your tomato farming anywhere in the world, and in this case, Nigeria. Now, after you have done about thinking about pest and pest control, you may want to think about, okay, how long, or let's start from where should I locate my tomato business? All right, I want to give you this advice, and that is think about the market. Why? You have to understand that tomato is a very, very perishable item. The meaning of that is it will not stay as long as orange, it won't stay as much as apple, and it will not last as much as pineapple. So it is a very perishable item, which when you get it from the farm, you don't expect it to last weeks. It's a matter of few days. So it will be good for you to have your farm at a place motorable to the major city or to the major market. This will help you in kind of like when you harvest, you already have the market ready, which is another thing you have to pay attention to. Having your market ready is very, very essential. If the market is not ready, you just harvest, pull it in a store, start looking for who to sell it to. You'll be frustrated, and the market will understand that is people that will buy from you understand that you're actually frustrated. Then you lose in negotiation. So it's only good for you to have your market ready and to be in a motorable place where you can easily take your tomato and take them straight away to the farm. I think is a good advice to follow. The other thing you may want to think about is, okay, for how long does it take tomato from the time of nursery to grow? For how long is it? From the time of nursery to maturity, it could be between 8 to 12 weeks. That is, 12 weeks is 3 months, and let's say just 2.5 months to 3 months. Now, there are a couple of things you may want to know about tomato farming. the best advice I can give you is, well, after you have done your research on the internet, you will do yourself a favor before you invest into this business to get connected with somebody in your area who has gotten some experience on this field. The person could easily guide you, be your consultant and sort of things like that. Now, if you are stuck or you don't know who to call, you can easily give us a call. We have farmers who are into tomato and they have been there for years, and they could use their experience to kind of guide you, train you on the farm, show you how to do it. The objective of all that is the best way to do things is to ride on other people's experience and knowledge. So you want to go into tomato farming, you better think about people who have been there before, few years before you. Then they must have made some mistakes, they must have learned some things along the way, so they use their experience to kind of guide you. Now, if you need such assistance, you can dial the number you are seeing on our screen right now. If you call us, we are going to link you up with a tomato farmer that is very close to you. It's going to be one of our partners. Now, you have the opportunity of going to the farm, see it practically the way they are doing it, ask questions and learn. And even if you need us to actually guide you step by step on, choosing the right appropriate soil, guiding on the nursery, choosing the species, pest control and all that, our farmers could easily guide you on that. Thank you so much for being with us, and hope we could be part of your project.